Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So I have an article here, which this article really got me fired up, because this article, even though it misses the point and it has leftist written all over it, the hill again, of course, gives a prime example of why our country is where it's at. You see, it shows what's wrong with these rioters and looters. They don't believe in consequences because their parents don't believe in consequences for them. Really ridiculous, really sad. But it's from the Hill, of course, leftist rag. I'm starting to think they're a leftist rag. I try to get my information from different sites. But this one, The title is Wisconsin Police Arrest Family of Slain Black Teen Amid Protests Over His Death by Morgan G. Statler. And it's today, Saturday, October 10th, 2020, the year that will live on in infamy, of course. And it starts out, family members of a black teen killed by a Wisconsin police officer were arrested after police alleged they were driving recklessly during a protest and refused officers' demand. They were blocking the street. And it's already been put out that if you block streets, you have a right to protest. You don't have a right to interfere with other people. So this is Alvin Cole's case, right? So those of you who don't know about the Alvin Cole case, 17-year-old committed some crime. I'm not even sure. It's just so many now. Cops chase him. He turns around, points a gun at cops. The cops say drop the gun. He refuses to drop the gun. Now, you would think that's when cops started firing the shots, right? No, remember, so this took place in a mall, so there's video. Alvin Cole actually fired a shot at the cops. I don't know how you think that was going to turn out. Cops fired back and killed him. Now, let me just say, and he had a stolen 9mm, which means he had previously committed robbery. Or bought it off somebody who had, which means he's in the streets. Where do you think the street life's going to go? See, that's why I admire the old school Italian mafia guys so much. Even the old school gangster black dudes I knew. Uncle Leroy's one of those dudes, you know. Now he's a peaceful man, you know, deacon in the church. You know how that works. But they knew where the life would lead, either jail or death. Those were the only two places it could lead. Nowadays, kids don't see that. Or young gangsters, they're not kids. Once you start committing crimes, you're no longer a kid. Trust me, I don't have the most spotless history behind me. But once you get into that life, you know where it's going to lead. It is what it is. But here's the problem. See, they arrested 4 members of the family, all women. Cole's mother and his sisters. Because they're out supporting this crap. Oh, no matter what, my baby cannot be wrong. And this isn't a black issue. Because remember, I pointed out to you how the Portland, Stand Behind Me moms or whatever, this mom will protect you group or whatever, that ended up actually robbing or taking money from black organizations and putting black women on the front line to get arrested and harassed or whatever while they stood back and got the photo opportunities. To me, that's kind of racist. But hey, it's neither here nor there. But that's what's wrong. You're not giving your kids consequences before they leave the house. My mom would always tell me, right? It's better I whip your ass now than the cops do it later. No more discipline in the house. No more. Even when I look at the Jacob Blake thing, you have his mother, she comes out, very level-headed woman, you know, I think has a really good grasp on things. And then you look at the father, we got to burn it down. We got to burn it down. Your son was a rapist. Your son was allegedly a rapist. Your son was in the middle of kidnapping We have to call our kids out when they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not doing them any favors by sheltering them. Don't be a snowplow or helicopter parent. It's always hovering around your child, always pushing trouble out of the way. No, if they're up to stuff like this, sometimes trouble needs to find them. Now, not so that they're dead, but so they pay a price before they get to the level where somebody does have to go to the point of killing them. What did you expect was going to happen? Not even with a cop. You point a gun at any person who's armed and you fire a shot. They actually let you get to firing a shot. Don't you think they're going to shoot back? No, because these kids have been playing video games and they don't recognize consequences. Like I always say, I love the John Wick movie because there's consequences all the way through. They talk about consequences and how they affect your life. Problem is, these kids aren't meeting any consequences at home. So when they get out here in the streets and they get told no, they lose their minds. See, that's why they're rioting and looting and burning down buildings. I saw a video yesterday, right here in Tacoma, Washington, right down at the Tacoma Mall. The Tacoma Mall is like 10 minutes from me. These young white kids run up and stop a truck. It's a black man in the truck. And some young black kid runs up and puts his hand on the man, and the man jumps out. So, first of all, understand, I don't care what organization you're from or what you're protesting about. When you put your hands on an older black man, you just ask for trouble. So anyway, he gets out of his truck and he's putting them in line. You know what? He was right to do it. You run up to my car, put your hands on me, you'll wish I said words, because the only words I'm going to say are pew, pew. It's a done day. You just assaulted me. But these are the results we live with when we don't discipline our children. And not enough people are disciplining their children. Now those children are loose in the streets. Well, parents, if you love your kids, discipline them. Discipline them because you love them. So you'll discipline them with love. However, out here, there is no love. Now, if they had to be disciplined out here, stuff like the Alvin Cole situation happens. You have a young man, he was black, fire a stolen gun at police after they told him to drop it. They gave him a chance to drop it. It's right there in the video. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. That's poor raising. That's on the parents. And then you can see it's on the parents because him and his sisters, or his mother and his sisters, go out and get arrested at a protest. There shouldn't have been a protest. There shouldn't have been a protest. At the same time, it's about the same day, actually. A young black man was wrongfully killed in another state. You'll never hear his name. I have his name. I'll probably make a video about it. But I want you to see if you could find the name. We're going to play a little game here on the Dan Dawson Show. See if you could find his name. Because, see, this is who Antifa and BLM wants to hand you. And I'm really starting to think it's a plot, right? Because now when you say, another young black man killed by cops, the other side can come back and say, well, he was a career criminal who was shooting at cops. This other young black man was a Trump supporter, big fan of the police, and he was shot wrongfully shot. And there should be charges coming out of that one. But you notice there were no protests for him. They're playing you for a sucker. They want strife. See, that's what Antifa and these anarchists do. They want strife. They want to cause strife. But it was a really unfortunate incident. I wish he had made better decisions. I wish he had had more discipline in his life. Which brings me to another topic I'm going to discuss it in a later video about the role of fathers and how that feeds into my code. But it's a really unfortunate circumstance, but I just wanted to point it out to you. Who they're rioting for. Who they're rioting for. Which doesn't make any sense. And what they're doing in these riots. See, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Once they surround you and they decide they're going to go after you, they go after you. I mentioned to you earlier the black nurse who was on her way to work and her car got surrounded. A couple of guys stepped in, helped her get through. That was the only reason she got through. But they were attacking her. She was holding her own. I saw the YouTube video. She was holding her own. She wasn't having no shit. So, BLM, we're tired. Black people, this is from black people. We're tired of your shit. If you're in BLM, grab your young white people, grab your young white counterparts by the arm and get them out of our face. We're not stupid. We're not going to fall for your shit. So, thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. This actually goes further back than a black or white issue. This is an issue about how we raise our kids and what we expect from them. Because it occurs to me that we don't expect very much from our kids anymore. Well, not we. I expect a lot from my kids. That's what's wrong with society. That's why you have all these wake-up calls going on. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. I'm telling you, if you're a BLM and you're just grabbing people, one day you're going to grab the wrong person. And it's not going to be pretty. So thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. I was going to read the article to you, but it's so slanted and crap. I figured not. I'd just explain it to you and what's actually wrong and not presented in the article. So thank you. Like, subscribe, share. Do what you got to do.